For today is ChatGPT should be banned in school.
Judges, are you ready? Imagine you are taking a test. The person sitting next to you is cheating. What do? I should have said that you would stop them, or at least try, and yet our opponent is against us. Good morning, I'm Gia Legally. My teammates are Abby the cross-examiner, Olivia the rebutter, and Catherine the summarizer. We stand to resolve that ChatGPT should be banned in schools. Lieutenant Griffin defines ChatGPT as ChatGPT in full chat-generated pre-training transformer software that allows a user to ask it questions using conversational or natural language. We define schools as all grades and types, and we value our future. Contention 1. ChatGPT uses incorrect information. Do you want poor grades while using an AI that you think is reliable? Well, ChatGPT produces a lot of false information. According to the Scribbler article, is ChatGPT trustworthy? It states, but it doesn't always provide accurate information. This is because its responses are based on pattern and enhancing text that was trained on. It is not based on database of facts, but rather based on patterns. This can lead to unintentional errors. Pattern-based data is not always reliable. It goes off of what you already searched up or what other people got when they searched up the same thing. Google, for example, finds actual sources and answers to the information typed in. An article, should ChatGPT be banned in schools? States, as ChatGPT is not a search engine, the article cited did not actually exist. The responses contain names of some reputable scholars in the field, and many that were fake. But the references were created for the response. That means ChatGPT can make up information and tell that to students who use ChatGPT. If a teacher searches for a source, their teacher will probably see that it is fake. Contention 2. Cheating with ChatGPT is horrible. According to the New York Times author Kevin Roos, teachers and school administrators have been scrambling to catch students using the tool to cheat. And they're fretting about the havoc ChatGPT could work on their lesson plan. Is this what you want your teacher to feel like, walking around all the time scared that your students are using ChatGPT? I certainly hope not. According to the Diamondback, it states, students are now using ChatGPT to write essays, do homework, and take quizzes for them. Think about your future. If you use ChatGPT to do your work, you are taking away an amazing learning opportunity for yourself and possibly others. In college, if someone finds you cheating, the board can make you start over. They can erase all your grades, making you start again like you just joined. Contention 3. Plagiarism is serious. Did you know you can get suspended, expelled, or even arrested in the worst case because plagiarism? Well, yes. Plagiarism can get that serious. Plagiarism is a serious offense in the academic world, with some schools threatening expulsion if students are found guilty. A study found at least 58% of high school students have committed plagiarism. What do you expect teachers to do about this? Well, after finding out the best paper written in his class was created by ChatGPT, a professor at Northern Michigan University told New York Times he planned to start requiring students to write first draft of essays in his classroom and explain any changes made in later drafts. Another professor at Furman University told Business Insider he caught a student turning in a paper written by ChatGPT. Because although it was really well written, there was a lot of misinformation. However, not many universities have created rules to fight against this type of cheating. That is outrageous. In a realistic world, civilization controls the world, not robots. In conclusion, ChatGPT should be banned in schools because of cheating, plagiarism, and the protection of harmful nonsense for students. Our values are future. A problem is only a problem if it has a solution, an anonymous classmate. In this case, the problem is ChatGPT, and the solution is to ban it. May the cross-examiner please begin. Thank you.
Judges ready? You said your team used ChatGPT for good, so why can't others do that?
Can you repeat the question?
Good. Aren't there other ways to go besides banning ChatGPT?
No.
Do you think ChatGPT has a good side?
No.
What causes you to think that?
Because misinformation is going to be in every answer that requires information, a mistake in every correction, bias in every paragraph. ChatGPT is pattern-based, and it can only do as good as the humans who use it.
Has anyone on your team used ChatGPT?
Yes, one of my teammates had to find out what it could do, and when she asked it for a Lincoln Douglas debate, it pulled up a thrash-out debate instead. Also, when she asked it specifically for an elementary level essay on the water cycle, ChatGPT pulled up a college level essay.
Did your team use it for good or for bad?
For good.
If your team used it for good, why can't others?
We used it to prove our debate. We didn't use it to cheat like other people do.
Why do you value future?
Because our future is a very big part of our life.
How does the hook relate to future?
Our hook shows that people keep cheating, and until we change that, it won't change our future.
That's all.
Are you ready? Teachers, imagine that you do not need to grade students learning from an AI, and they can have an outline for most work. ChatGPT is the answer. Our team stance is ChatGPT should not be banned in school. Hello, I'm Levi the lead. The summarizer is Dylan. The rebutter and cross-examiner is Dick Griffin. We believe in the value of learning. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines learning as knowledge or skill acquired by instruction or study. When we use school, we are referring to high school through college. ChatGPT is an AI that can take in a prompt and make a paragraph of information that it found. What if we use ChatGPT as a teaching tool? We can make it so students could use it occasionally, kind of like a calculator. GPT is an enemy of thinking, only if we fail to find ways to make it our ally. So Angela Duckworth, which means ChatGPT will only be an enemy if we don't figure out how to learn from it. But we do have ways to learn from it. See, for example, we could have ChatGPT write an essay, and then we could have the students analyze the essay, or CUPS check it to practice revising and learning from ChatGPT's mistakes. So, we can use this more as a learning experience. I don't want to be in an adversarial relationship with my students, said Gina Barnaby. So, to avoid having to do that, we can occasionally use ChatGPT for things like making an outline of an essay. ChatGPT can do more than just write prompts. It can talk to you, answer questions, and do any tasks that it is programmed to do. It can save you time, be your friend, and help you learn. Every curse has a blessing, and every blessing has a curse, by J.K. Anderson. What it means is every good thing has a bad thing, and every bad thing has a good thing. ChatGPT can find out if it has been used. It can be a blessing in disguise, so do not ban it. Every teacher can learn from it, so you do not need to worry. It can help. Imagine a new era with long writing that can be made in an instant, making movie scripts and making lessons in seconds. A place with easier work. That is why you should care. Everyone should care, where anyone can learn something new, not just the kids, the grown-ups too. Pennsylvania's professors are correct when they say AI is not coming, AI is here, and it cannot be banned, so what should we do? It means we have AI here, so we should teach with it and use it to its full potential. ChatGPT has a lot of potential, and you are just ready to ruin it by banning it? Why, though? ChatGPT has a lot of potential in everything it can do, from simple to complex, from writing essays to making computer code, which I find quite impressive. ChatGPT is a new way for both students and teachers to learn in new ways.
Banning it clearly would be the way to go. These students are growing up in an era where technology increasingly is driving human behavior and decision making. Rebecca Disler, as it says, technology is becoming more and more common when it comes to making our decisions. Since it's being used more, let's do that too. You see, if students grow to use technology, such as ChatGPT, it'll help later on. Well, if students were to grow to use technology such as ChatGPT, it might help later on. If a sickness or another reason causes adults to work from home in the future, if they had a good amount of learning from things like ChatGPT, it might help out. Our brother was learning because people have taught with ChatGPT, and you can too. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines learning as gaining knowledge. We are ready for cross-examination.
Judges, are you ready? Have you ever used ChatGPT?
No, but our teammate Cruz has, and it's all correct that we said.
Why haven't you?
Because I do not have access to it on my home computer.
Are you aware that ChatGPT provides misinformation?
Yes, I'm aware, but if the student gets the misinformation wrong, it's their fault, because they should be able to check it and actually do work.
Do you think that cheating is acceptable?
No, I do not think cheating is acceptable, but ChatGPT can check itself if it's been used.
Do you think that plagiarism is acceptable?
I do not think plagiarism is acceptable, but you can put your own ideas in ChatGPT.
Is misinformation a good or a bad thing?
Misinformation is usually a bad thing, but it's their own fault again if they get it wrong. If they still have to check it if it has misinformation.
Are you aware of just how much ChatGPT misinforms people?
No.
Do you think the misinformation that ChatGPT puts out is wrong ethically?
Ethically, yes.
You think the essay writing that ChatGPT can do is a helpful feature, correct?
Can you repeat that question?
You think the essay writing that ChatGPT can do is helpful, correct?
Yes.
Isn't that cheating?
Not if you check it yourself, because as you said, there's a lot of misinformation, and if they check it, it's doing most of the work themselves. And we do not think it should be allowed in earlier grades, only in the end grades.
Do you know that our district has banned ChatGPT?
I did not know that.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Ready? Ready? Good morning. We firmly believe that ChatGPT should be banned in school. I found multiple things that are flawed or questionable in the opponent's argument. For example, I am quite confused about how learning is related to your whole argument. The other team said that ChatGPT can write computer code, but how do you know that the computer code won't fail? And besides, doesn't asking a computer to do stuff for you take away from learning? Also, can't you create a relationship with your students in other ways? Why would you want to be friends with a computer anyway? It doesn't understand you. How does learning relate to friends? And the full potential of ChatGPT is just to put misinformation inside students' heads. Even though technology is more common than paper, that doesn't mean that you can't cheat, plagiarize, or use inaccurate information. The other team values learning, but doesn't ChatGPT just do the work for you? ChatGPT harms students instead of helping them learn. Yet learning is our opponent's value. Even if you don't want to plagiarize, ChatGPT learns from other people's work and eventually copies it. ChatGPT is going to corrupt your work even if you don't want it to. ChatGPT's treachery is inevitable unless it is banned in schools. ChatGPT will defeat the purpose of school, having kids never learn except to cheat their way through work. This leads to ChatGPT removing the ability to do hard work, which can lead to being unwilling to get a job. Society revolves around hard work, and ChatGPT defeats that until we become mindless drones. Our future is important, and the other team doesn't care about that. If ChatGPT has a way to be used for good, great, but many people don't use it that way. Think about the kids cheating, or using it to make up insults that can be very hurtful, or even discriminatory. Remember, ChatGPT copies others' work, therefore picking up bias along the way. Bias controls ChatGPT whether we like it or not. Also, AI could harm our textbooks. If those kids that learn wrong from AI become teachers, they end up teaching that to their students. So on until y'all need to believe the wrong thing. Wrong will be right, right will be wrong. If we keep ChatGPT, it will destroy our future. Vote affirmative because we are reliable, we uphold our value, and we know that ChatGPT is wrong. Thank you for your time.
In the affirmative rebuttal, you say that your teammates use ChatGPT for good. Since your team uses ChatGPT for good, doesn't that mean there is a good side to it? Because you are still using it positively. And if your team uses it for good, why can't others find ways, good ways, to use ChatGPT? So you say that ChatGPT has misinformation, but can't the kids edit it like a rough draft? I've said that their value is future, but if we don't ban ChatGPT, it can positively affect the future. Contention went about some of the good ways you can use ChatGPT, like using it as a rough draft, for example. Kids can cut to check what ChatGPT wrote to learn from the program's mistakes, such as bad grammar. ChatGPT is an enemy only if we can't find good ways to use it, but we do have some that include being able to be a teaching partner. Contention too about some of the reasons we should not ban ChatGPT, such as how it is in a way like the yin-yang concept. ChatGPT can be critical as long as you're cautious while using it. ChatGPT can have a bad look at sometimes, but think about it this way. It's not the program that is bad, it's some of the viewers. Contention 3 is about why and how it will be good if we hold on to ChatGPT in the future. An example of why we should do that is, in the future, for a reason such as a new sickness, could cause us to use ChatGPT. And that is why we believe that the affirmative is destroying its potential. That is why we stand resolved that ChatGPT should not be banned in school. Thank you, judges, for your time, and we ask for your vote. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Let's give final round of applause for our fifth representing team. At this point, we're going to invite the different teams to come up while the judges are tabulating the scores. So families, if you'd like to take pictures of the teams, we'll call them up one team at a time. So we'll have Resolution 5 teams. If you could stand in the front, we'll take your picture, and then we'll call the other teams as well. So students, please stay seated in